Yo, thank you for coming back to another Hamza Khan show video. Um, I'm just gonna get right into it as always. Um, just came off of Wrestlepalooza. Just watched it as well as everything else that's happened during the week. Um, I thought it was a I thought it was a good show overall. Um, Obviously the main talking point coming off the whole event was the beginning, which was the opening of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I think a lot of people did kind of predict that uncomfortable match where John Cena just gets laid out, a bit of a homage in a kind of way to the original SummerSlam match that they had, um, where John Cena went to City, and that's where Suplex City was born. Um, I thought just as an overall show, I thought it was good, but I thought there was peak points on certain matches, but nothing out of the realm of unpredictability happened on the actual um, event. I think going into the actual show, there was like a heavy expectation of what's gonna happen in part of the main event, as well as that opening match as well. There was like something to make it from a good show to a amazing must watch kind of show experience. That element of it was missing. Um, I think that just comes off from the actual main event because of that. But start from the beginning. Obviously, we had the John Cena versus Brock Lesnar match as kind of people predicted, especially coming off the SmackDown. I think a lot of people wanted John Cena to overcome Brock Lesnar, but um, I think coming off that SmackDown where he's laid out Corey Graves, which I feel bad for Corey Graves, man. He's just getting done. He's getting switched around on every show, and then the Miz takes his spot, and then he gets F5 twice and just gets laid out flat, which is terrible for him, man. But uh, hopefully he's back on NXT soon, man, because I love that trio of Booker T, of what's his name, Vic Joseph, and Corey Graves. I love that trio. I think that trio initially when Corey got to NXT again, it wasn't linking up, but over time, such a sick duo, such a trio, such a sick dynamic, and I wish they get it back soon. But obviously, after that SmackDown, coming off that, going into this actual uh, opening ma- opening match, it was kind of expected that John Cena would just get mauled. I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was because John Cena did do three attitudes adjustments and it basically did nothing to Brock Lesnar, which is, I guess they are trying to build up Brock Lesnar again to be that absolute massive beast. Hopefully, as they build him up, we can maybe eventually see a Gunther versus Brock Lesnar match in the future. I think that would be really, really good. But I think this kind of match was just the start of the story, as because we've only got 5 matches left in the John Cena. Well, 5 appearances left. I think going into Perth, it may be because we're gonna have the John Cena appearance, so um, possibly you get the um, not the open challenge, but the return of John Cena, and maybe we could have Brock come out again and just go after John Cena, or maybe that becomes um, the opening for. I think a lot of people are saying Survivor Series. For John Cena to be a part of Survivor Series, Brock Lesnar will be on the other team, including the Vision. That's why he's starting to have that link again with Paul Heyman. Especially when he came out, I thought it was sick when Paul Heyman actually came out and um, announced the show. But going into that match, I think going into Perth, sorry, it's either Brock versus John 2, John loses again, or it's the challenge to Brock, which leads into um, War Games, and that's possibly when you actually get um, John Cena and the Vision linking up. I think that's when possibly Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed actually come out, because you'll have Seth Rollins uh, kind of focused on Cody Rhodes later on in that more than likely main event in Perth. So I think going off that match, I think it was just a link up match for the rest of the story. Wasn't out of realm of own expectations. It was kind of expected. It was, I think a lot of people either, it was either going to be John Cena overcomes Brock Lesnar, or it's just Brock Lesnar just beats him to a pulp. There's no like middle ground. There's not going to be a competitive match that leaves with Brock Lesnar winning. It was either just mauling or Brock Lesnar loses. Uh, so start match was good, not unexpected. I would say, I would guess. Um, Next match, you were the tag match. Obviously, I was kind of I was annoyed with the LA Knight kind of referee nonsense, man. It was just unnecessary, not needed, and it was just a bit overrated. I guess I don't know, man. It wasn't what I wanted in that match. It didn't help me in any way in terms of my feeling towards the match. Obviously, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed won, expected, um, but in terms of it didn't feel good when LA Knight came out, and then obviously um, Usos won, and then it just wasn't what I wanted. Obviously, you had the Usos reunion. That should have been what it was talked about. You should have seen the Usos do the hits, and then obviously Braun and Bronson Reed actually win. What would have been funny if they actually had a normal ref gets knocked out, Ellen Knight comes out in the ref gear, and he does the rest of the match. That would have been funny. That would have been good. But we've seen Ellen Knight in the ref gear so many times. It's just too much, I guess. Um, so it's kind of a underwhelming match. Nothing outrageous, nothing we hadn't seen before. It just is what it is, I guess. Um, which was totally opposite to the following match, which was the Women's World Championship match with um, Io Sky and Stephanie Verker. Obviously, I predicted Io Sky to win so that we could build up Stephanie Verker for a little bit longer. But after she won, it was well worth it. I think she's gonna be a sick champion. That match was sick. How they built a story of Io's knees. I think they are going to eventually have Oscar and Io. I kind of expected it to be Oscar and Io for the championship. That's what I expected, but I think they're going down more of a route of just a blood feud, or a just a like a match where Oscar is going to be the bully and Io is going to be, because everybody loves Io. Io is going to be kind of put into a corner and like without any other friends, because no one wants to go near Io because of how Oscar's been moving the last couple of weeks, getting people to get away from Io. So when Oscar turns on Io, it's gonna be like a massive moment where it's going to be like a situation for Io where she's going to be all alone. And I think Kairi Sane is too. timid in the personality towards Asuka, which she won't be able to do anything for Io. But obviously with Stephanie Verker, with we're safe to assume that it's gonna be Stephanie Verker versus Rhea Ripley at Perth. I think they have to do that match. It is gonna be. I think Stephanie Verker will win that when it comes, but um, SIG champion she's gonna be, especially if you listen to that Chris Van Vliet podcast when she's talked about it, from where she started back in Chile and then going all the way to here. Massive moment, really deserved. I love that match. That match was sick. It had my attention the full match. Um, and then another low was that mixed tag. It had so much hype, especially with the AJ Lee return, tagging with CM Punk, and um, them versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Obviously, I thought it was a good match. It was not gonna be a bad match in because of the competitors inside of it, but it just didn't. I guess because I'm not so much of a big of a AJ Lee fan, it didn't kind of matter to me in that. If you think about it that way, of course, the linkage with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch for the first initial start of the match, where they were just keeping CM Punk in the match because they can predict CM Punk, but obviously once AJ Lee came into the match, she was unpredictable. Um, I think we are gonna see not EO, sorry, AJ versus um, Becky Lynch in the future, but she didn't come across as that good. Like you compare like the imagination for the AJ Lee versus Becky match, if you compare that to like what you would expect from a EO versus um Stephanie Fakir match, it's like levels between them. Like I definitely think Becky Lynch could have a match with Io Sky or Stephanie Fakir, but like AJ Lee, especially when she was mauling um Becky Lynch with those kind of like slaps. I guess we meant to get hyped for it, but it just kind of just looked a bit stupid. It's like we're kind of past this, if I'm being honest. But obviously, unexpected kind of variable with AJ Lee, and then she got the submission win over Becky Lynch. Um, didn't do it for me. It was a bit overhyped, if I'm being honest with you, for myself. But then we've got the Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre match, which I thought was good. It was really good. I think we had a lot of people. I think you wanted Cody Rhodes to win because Cody Rhodes is that good guy that you're gonna constantly have good matches with and good storylines with the hero, with the champion. But I think a lot of people wanted that surprise win of Drew McIntyre. Obviously, he is on that level where he would be able to win a match against Cody Rhodes, but it would be a surprise in the way of just unexpected. Just because Cody Rhodes is only retained, well, won his title back at SummerSlam, and then he was off for 5 weeks. So kind of unexpected in that kind of terminology. If he's only just won it, he's not really defended it. It kind of gives less meaning to the John Cena match. But I think they are building. There's something to do with Randy to do with this. Obviously, you've got Drew McIntyre who kind of lost the match for himself with the doing the stuff with um, the ring post, and that causing him not to be able to get the pin because the referee had to go sort that out. And then also outside when he's looking at kicking um, Cody Rhodes through the announce table again, didn't need to do that. Obviously, those are mistakes that he's made in terms of actually going into the match. But um, I think overall decent match. Cody Rhodes matches are always good, but it just felt like a Cody Rhodes match. It didn't feel like anything we hadn't seen before, if I'm being honest. That's why I think the overall show obviously it was good, but wasn't must see. Had to watch it again. Um, Oi, did you watch Wrestlepalooza? Yeah, it was a good show. That's it. There was no obviously you had the starting of this show, I guess, but there was nothing else that kind of helped. Nothing else that just did it for me. Maybe it's because we watched so much wrestling that we just kind of got um, used to like a show like that, and we kind of always wanting that dopamine hit, that Seth Rollins cash in, that Brock Lesnar return at the end of SummerSlam, those sorts of things that we kind of expect. The Becky Lynch coming out to save Seth Rollins on um, the Clash in Paris, the John Cena doing the AJ Styles move, which was a massive moment as well. Those sorts of things, I think, is kind of what we expect, and that's not necessarily what we got from the full show. It was kind of a lot of low moments for me and good high moments, but good high moments, not like, oh my god, wow. Um, Apart from that middle match, the women's match, Io Sky versus Steph Divika, which was sick. Um, After that, obviously, you had SmackDown, just a kind of a build-up show um, to Wrestlepalooza. Nothing major, nothing new actually happened. And then um, what happened on Raw, I think it was just nothing new, kind of just whatever. It was just kind of just building up to Wrestlepalooza. Um, NXT, however, was really good. Whereas it was a homecoming show, so they had to build it to make it better. But I am hyped for next week for NXT because we're gonna have the obviously the NXT Championship versus with Obafemi versus Trick Williams, winner takes all. I think based on what they're building up, TNA are gonna invade that match, and that's what it'll end with, like a DQ where no one actually wins, um, so that they can keep the championships on those two guys, and then we build to. I don't know if it will be a War Games match, TNA versus um, NXT War Games, because they'll probably do War Games for them for main roster. So I don't know what it will be in terms of how the match will progress. I don't think a five-man tag would work, but I think if it's done right, it will be really sick, especially with all the personalities in NXT and then all the personalities in TNA. I'm not sure whether what's going on with Joe Henry. Is Joe Henry now an NXT guy with how many times he's been on NXT, or if he's still TNA? I'm unsure about him, but overall, I think NXT next week is must watch. You have to watch that show with the women's matches as well as that more than likely main event. Um, it's gonna be sick, um, which is kind of a comparison to um, um, the original show, the Wrestlepalooza, I guess. Um, Moving on from the wrestling, Obviously, we've got Man United won a match. We won against Chelsea, which was sick. Um, who scored the goals? Not any of our attackers. It was the Bruno, constantly being Bruno, being elite, and then Casemiro got a goal as well, which is massive. Um, what is our attack doing? I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll find out eventually. But massive win, needed win. Um, we just look towards the next match, and hopefully we can win that next game and we win that as well. We're very happy about that match, and then also um, the other talk about kind of linked to Man United, obviously Rashford as well. Um, in that in the Barcelona versus who did they face? I think I'm not sure who they were facing. Um, but obviously two sick goals from Marcus Rashford. He did the point to him celebration, which was sick. Well deserved, really really good. He's working in a way better system than he is when he was at Man United. Um, so massive for him. Really good match. Really, there was loads of games that went on that full week, this full week, which was really good. So kind of just expected for the matches going ahead. Hopefully, those are. It's always good when Man United wins. I guess it always makes me happy in terms of football. If you get what I mean. Um, I think nothing to talk about with regards to like NBA or anything like that. I don't think we won't get anything until later on in the year. But as always, put that back. As always, we've got the pack. This time it's gonna be a OP09 pack, which is different. Apparently, this is the best box that you can purchase if like you invest in anything like that. So hopefully we get the look and we get something good from this pack. I think the last couple of weeks we haven't been getting much, so hopefully we can get something really nice. Let's get this opened. Always difficult opening these packs, man. There we go. Starting off, the hype. Tony, Chopper, Chopper. Nice, nice call there, man. Next up, we've got Richie. I think that's from Thriller Box. You got Beppo. Nice one there. You got Fuller Lead. I think that's the big island. I think you know that guy who's the guy part of the island. Um, got him. We've got Peach Beard. I thought that was Blackbeard, man. We got Peach Beard. I guess his beard's a peach. We got the boy Jimbe. Nice card there. We got Rob Lucci, man. getting lots of nice common cards, you know. Rob Lucci, you got Sabo. Got Sabo. Don't know if that's a special one. I think that's just a common. Ultra common, I guess. We got Mo Moji. I don't know who that logo is. And then we got Monkey D. Luffy. Look at that card, man. Looks all nice. What is that? That's a. I think that's a leader card. Leader card, Monkey D. Luffy. Um, all of your characters gain 1 plus. All your turn once per turn when two or more Dawn cards are uh, cards on your field are returned to your Dawn deck. Add up to one Dawn card from your Dawn deck to and set it active, and add up to one additional Dawn card to reset it. Don't know what that means, but that is a nice card. Let's put that down for a second. Put that down there for a second. That card looks well nice, man. And then the final card, we've got a Doflamingo. Don Quito Don Flamingo. Look at that, man. And then we got a Yasop as well. Oi. We got a Yasop. That was a sick ass pack, you know. Let's get those put up. I didn't expect to get three nice cards, you know. Thought we'd get like one or two, but I didn't expect all three. Look, let's just see them for a second. I don't know which ones are worth more. I would assume the Luffy isn't the most expensive just because it's a leader. Right at the back, nice. But I would assume that Yasop and uh, Doflamingo, Donkey. There, get that one. Put it in there. Look at that. Nice. Yasop. You got the Doflamingo, and then you got the leader Monkey D. Luffy, which looks sick. Nice. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll put that there, man. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if it was good. Leave a dislike if it was bad. And remember, no comments. Peace.